This is the story of the third-generation Chevy Camaro. Muscle car enthusiasts didn't have much to get excited about in the early 1980s. Former performance kings were all about neutered V8 shadows of their old selves, and tightening fuel economy standards made it seem the malaise was here to stay. But then something changed. A new attitude was spurred on by a new style of music called heavy metal glam rock, which was formed in the underbelly of Los Angeles' Sunset Strip and fronted by bands like Moetley and Quiet Riot. This rising movement spurred young enthusiasts to seek out a car that matched the music and the attitude of the era. They found that the 1982 Chevrolet Camaro fit that bill. In the late 70s, there was some controversy at GM over what the next generation Camaro should look like. Many thought performance was dead, and that the Camaro and its Pontiac Firebird twin should follow the lead of the rest of GM and switch to a front-drive setup. Fortunately, Camaro chief engineer Tom Zimmer decided early on that handling should be the third-generation Camaro's top priority, and it demanded rear drive. The mandate also put the new Camaro on a strict diet and gave it a revised suspension. Though the traditional live rear axle remained, the old leaf springs were replaced with coils. Up front, double control arms were swapped for a pair of struts and springs. Optimization for the F-Car's unibody helped the third-generation Camaro lose about 470 pounds. Powering the new 1982 Camaro were the infamous 2.5-liter Iron Duke i4, producing a measly 90 horsepower, a 2.8-liter producing 102 horsepower, and two 5.0-liter 305 cubic inch V8s, a carbureted version making 145 horsepower, and a crossfire injection fuel-injected version with 165 horsepower. The car was offered in hardtop and T-top body styles. While the third-generation Camaro was initially designed around the all-important high-performance Z28 model, Chevy offered two additional trim levels. The base trim was the Camaro Sports Coupe, which could be had with the Iron Duke V6 or the carbureted 305. Sandwiched between the Sports Coupe and Z28 was the Berlinetta model. Chevy hoped the Berlinetta would be to luxury what the Z28 was to performance, and so it came with a plush interior, toned-down exterior styling, and a soft suspension. Berlinetta buyers chose between the V6 or the carbureted 305, but not many people bid, and the Berlinetta was axed in 1986. Though by modern standards, the 1982 Camaro Z28 is far from quick, but Motor Trend magazine was blown away by its performance that they named it the 1982 Motor Trend Car of the Year. If you're making up your personal shopping list, and it doesn't include a Z28 or Trans Am on it, you need a new list. We predict that third-generation Camaro and Firebird prices are about to go through the roof. The Camaro would only continue to get better for 1983. For 1983, Chevy added a 4-speed to the automatic and a whopping 5-speed to the manual transmission. To go with a new transmission in 1983, Chevy also introduced the high-output 5.0-liter V8 on the Z28. The new engine used a higher lift and longer duration cam, larger exhausts, and new quadrajet carburetor to produce 190 horsepower and 240 foot-pound of torque. The 1984 Camaro Z28 was a huge sales hit, available in both automatic and manual transmissions. Chevrolet sold over 100,000 Z28s in 1984 alone. Road and Track selected the 1984 Camaro Firebird as one of the 12 best cars in the world, and Car and Driver named it the best handling American-made car. In 1985, the Camaro received a facelift and added the legendary IROC-Z, named for the International Race of Champions that featured F-cars for 23 of its 30 seasons. Available initially as a performance and appearance package on the Z28 before becoming its own trim level in 1988. The IROC-Z would go down as perhaps the most iconic and memorable Camaro of the 80s. It featured a lowered suspension with unique front struts, Delco Bilstein rear shocks, and additional chassis reinforcements. Goodyear Gatorback tires on 8 by 16-inch aluminum wheels and loud and proud IROC-Z decals on the rocker panels completed the look. Backing up these go-fast bits was the choice of a 305 high-output V8 or the new tuned port injection 5.0-liter V8, which produced 215 horsepower and 275 pound-foot of torque. It would be another 2 years before the Camaro received any major changes. In 1987, a convertible returned to the lineup for the first time since 1969 for the Camaro's 20th birthday. Convertibles started life as T-tops shipped to American Specialty Cars, an aftermarket convertible manufacturer that also built Cavalier and Toyota Celica convertibles for conversion. All 1,007 1987 Camaro convertibles produced that year wore a badge on the dash reading 20th Anniversary Commemorative Edition. The convertible wasn't the only trick Chevrolet had up its sleeve in 1987. It also introduced the Corvette-sourced 5.7-liter, 350 cubic inch TPI V8 in an effort to keep the Ford Mustang GT in check. Though the engine was detuned and available only with a 4-speed slush box because the 5-speed couldn't handle the torque, the new engine still produced 225 horsepower and 330 foot-pound of torque for a 6.4-second 0 to 60 miles per hour run, and a Mustang-beating 14.43-second quarter mile at 94.6 miles per hour. Chevy wasn't content with just fitting a Corvette engine under the Camaro's hood and calling it a day. In 1988, Chevy quietly introduced the Camaro 1LE, shepherded into production by GM hotshot John Heinrichs. The 1LE was designed to compete in showroom stock racing across North America. It was disguised on the Camaro IROC-Z option sheet as G92 rear axle performance. Checking off that unassuming box for an added $675 would automatically trigger a host of options that would transform the Camaro from IROC to showroom stock race car. With sales dwindling, the Camaro didn't get significant changes for the rest of its lifetime, as Chevy prepped a sleeker follow-up. The model year 1990 was the last for the legendary Camaro IROC-Z, as Chevy let its sponsorship with the series lapse. For 1991, the IROC-Z becomes the Z28 again. In 1992, to celebrate the Camaro's 25th anniversary and the last year of the third-generation Camaro, Chevy creates the Heritage Package. The new package includes hood stripes, a body-color grille, black headlamp surrounds, and special badging. The 1992 Camaro was also the last year of production of the Camaro at the assembly plant in Van Nuys, California. The last third-generation Camaro produced was a red Z28 Coupe on August 27, 1992. And there you have it, the story behind the third-generation Camaro. Which was your favorite? We'd like to know. Leave us your comments below, and do us a favor in sharing this video. If you like this video, leave us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell. Again, thanks for watching.